Hello and welcome back to another part of Shadow Piece. Today I am going to tell you all about the heroes of Wano and their past. But for now, let's take a look at what happened last week. Last time on Shadow Piece, the Yakuza bosses started their battle against King the Wildfire. Under Ryuma's guidance, they continued to grow stronger and stronger, but reaching the level of a race once known as gods proved to be too hard, especially in such a short time. The Lunarian is still more powerful than the samurai, but suffering from a devastating wound he got from the sword god Ryuma put him in a bad spot and gave him a time limit. Now both sides are planning to finish this battle as fast as possible, no matter what they might lose in the process. Here, if this was a manga and we don't already have the original One Piece series, we would also get a flashback of King or a backstory for King. But because I'm not going to change anything in it, I am just going to tell you, go read the official manga or wait for the anime to adapt the thing, because we're currently in spots that aren't even in the official anime yet. But there are 4 characters for me that are basically blank slates to write on, Today we will learn about the past from Omasa, Tsunagoro, Cho, and Yatape. Each of them is a major part of the Wano country because they are the Yakuza bosses of 4 different regions. The other Yakuza bosses were Denjiro as I think the Yakuza boss of the Flower Capital, and Ashura Doji as the Yakuza boss of the Kuri region, but those 4 basically are a separate part from the other 2 because Ashura and Denjiro are members of the 9 Red Scabbards. There were 9. Anyways, each of these 4 have grown up in a different region of Wano, and this story starts around 25 years before our current events. Omasa was born in Udon, suffering from the pollution of the factory since a young age. It was a battle of survival every day, but that helped him in growing stronger than most other people in his region, making him known as one of the strongest people in the Udon region. Tsunagoro grew up in the Hakumai region, the region that was once ruled by Shimotsuki Yasui, but he disappeared one day, leaving the Hakumai region ungoverned and uncontrolled, making it a place where thugs thrived and there was no control over anything. This region was once very colorful with autumn-like trees over the entire year, but under Orochi's rule, most of the nature died and only a depressing mist of factory gas remains. Cho originally came from the Ringo region. Ever-snowing region hides its suffering from Orochi under layers of snow, so just like her place of origin, Cho learned how to hide her pain and how to keep all of her feelings hidden. Every day more people suffered and weapons kept on disappearing. All Cho could do in her younger years, well, it was manage to survive in any way possible, and she also needed to keep her personal katana hidden from whoever or whatever kept stealing the weapons of the people. Last but not least, we have Yatape, the future Yakuza leader of the Kibi region. Kibi and Udon shared a similar fate under Orochi's orders. It became a wasteland with factories located on top of rock formations. The wasteland of Kibi are a dangerous place. The wildlife is filled with monsters and the survival of the fittest in this region. This was Yatape's first form of training and also the reason why he has grown so strong and big. It has only been a year since Kaido arrived, but together with Orochi's influence, that was enough time to turn Wano into a truly sad place. If you want to place it into the timeline of One Piece, Kaido arrived 26 years prior to our current timeline, and because a year passed, we are now in the place of 25 years before Moria and his people arrived in Wano to fight against Kaido and the Beast Pirates. Umasa and Yatape have proven their strength, and once they became 26 years old, they first became known as the underground leaders of the regions, later to become the official Yakuza bosses. Tsunagoro is the youngest of them, being only 20 years old when he reaches the point of being a leader of his region, and Cho is the oldest. However, let's not disclose the age of a lady, so let's keep Cho's age a secret, but as I said, she is the oldest. As I told you, this part of their life takes place 25 years before the current events, making Omasa's and Yatape's age 51 during the raid. Tsunagoro is 45 years old and Cho is still young and full of energy, let's just say that. At this point, all of them have not matched each other yet, and the event that would connect them in the future was about to begin. Said event began with Oden dancing for multiple years to save his people. A fun side note, 23 years before the current story, Gekko Moria managed to infiltrate Wano country and robbed Yuma's grave, making off with Yuma's grave and his sword Shusui. For the citizen of Wano, this incident was considered a disaster that brought the country to its knees, but it also was the first contact with the man that is now fighting to save the country, so it is an interesting twist of fate. For Moria himself, Shusui and Ryuma's corpse were supposed to be his key to become the king of the pirates, together with his crew as the Gekko Pirates. However, after a battle with the Beast Pirates, only Moria managed to survive at this point in his life. He was left in a devastating moment, all alone, suffering. He even thought that this was karma and the wrath of the gods. After all, he just stole the one thing, or one of the last few remaining pieces of honor that the Wano citizen had. Until he met Absalom, Moria kept on falling deeper and deeper into his depression. But that's not the story I'm going to tell you today. Let's go back to the story of Omasa, Tsunagoro, Cho, and Yatape. 3 more years went by with the 4 of them just being strong thugs that kept people in their region safe. Endless battles against beast pirates were just things that they had to go through every single day, but the normal goons of Kaido couldn't compare to our 4 ruffians. Even some headliners appeared, but none of them could actually manage to defeat them. They just fell and were never heard of again afterwards. But the situation was not serious enough for Kaido to send members of the Tobiroppo or members of the All-Stars. So it was just kept as it is. Beast pirates tried to fight against them, which they used as training or to get ingredients or materials for them to survive in their regions. Then the fated day arrived. 20 years ago, a bowl of Oden was created, but not any bowl of Oden. The main ingredient was Kozuki Oden himself. While all 4 of Omasa, Tsunagoro, Cho, and Yatape ridiculed Oden for making a fool of himself and dancing for Orochi's amusement, they couldn't help but feel inspired and respect the man for holding all of his retainers while being basically cooked alive in oil. When Oden died, even though before this day they all laughed over his actions, they started to see him as the role model for all samurai and changed their way of life. The scabbards ran towards Oden's castle to escape with Toki, Hiyori, and Momonosuke. Orochi obviously ordered his men to chase after them, but they all got intercepted by Omasa, Tsunagoro, Cho, and Yatape. This battle was the first time all 4 fought together, starting a lifelong partnership without even planning to do so. Thus, they stopped Orochi's people from chasing the scabbards, and we all know how the story of the scabbards and the Kozuki family turns out from this point onwards. So let's not waste time talking about that. Exhausted from the battle, the 4 of them sit close to each other, but don't talk to each other for a while. Connected through battle, and a person they now see as a hero, no words are needed as well. After recovering for some time, they shake hands and form an alliance with each other, planning to meet at least once a month for talking sessions and practice sessions. This turned into training sessions for both them and all of their followers, preparing for the day they would free Wano from Orochi and the Beast Pirates. They grew stronger with every month, but as they are just thugs from different regions, they lacked leadership to achieve their goals. This was until one session of their monthly meetups happened, and this session got interrupted by a single older man that no one expected to arrive. Kyogoro of the Flowers saw their potential. After beating all of them to a pulp, he claimed the spot as a leader of the Yakuza in Wano, making Omasa, Tsunagoro, Cho, and Yatape into Yakuza bosses of their respective regions. He trained the 4 of them for more months. They started to look up to Hyogoro, just like they looked up to Oden. He was a beacon of strength and hope, and with his leadership, fighting against the Beast Pirates and one day defeating Kaido might not just be like a dream in the far off future. So what happened next hit them harder than everyone else. It hasn't even been a year, so still 20 years ago, Hyogoro one day had to save Wano. The reputation of the Yakuza kept on increasing, and thus Kaido decided to send King to take care of them. With his observation haki, Hyogoro noticed that the All-Star was approaching, and all of that was soon enough so that he could still order everybody to return to their respective regions. At this point of time, all of the Yakuza bosses didn't have that good of a haki just yet. Their haki kept on improving until we are now in the actual current situation, but at this point they couldn't spot King approaching. This was the moment the 4 Yakuza bosses left, and Hyogoro only gave them a few lines of instructions. He knew it would probably be the last time they would meet, and they didn't expect any of this. He said to them they should just continue to practice their ryu, their haki, and if they continue to train together they will for sure surpass him in the future, and then they will be able to save Wano and the entire world from Kaido's supremacy. All of them left the Yakuza's main base, and Hyogoro waited for his opponents. The entire building was destroyed in the battle between Hyogoro and King, but in the end the leader of the Yakuza lost. King took him and left the rest to his subordinates. It is unclear, even to me, if King really wanted what the Beast Pirates would do next, but once it happened there was nothing he could do to change it. Hyogoro's wife and the men that identified themselves as members of the Yakuza were all killed by the members of Kaido's and Orochi's party, when they all refused to submit to the Shogun Kurosumi Orochi. This marked a dark day for the people in Wano. This obviously led to the Yakuza bosses thinking Hyogoro has also died, yet another hero has died to them, because they just don't know better. It was a hard time, but they all swore to protect and rescue Wano, to never lose hope of the dream of a free Wano anytime in the future. 10 more years passed, and many people became too eager to fight against Kaido and Orochi. They didn't fully believe in Toki's prophecy about the return of the missing Red Scabbards, and a group led by Omasa, Tsunagoro, Cho and Yatape impatiently went straight to Onigashima to fight against the Beast Pirates and Kaido. The Yakuza boss of the Kuri region, Ashura, tried to stop them from throwing their lives away, but these words were in vain, and his comrades ultimately perished at the hands of Kaido and the Beast Pirates. After the news of Hyogoro's death, the Yakuza were never the same. They lost their leader and thus also all of their organization. After losing that day, the 4 Yakuza bosses were imprisoned in Udon, until the day Maria saved them. 10 years they suffer in the prison working for the enemy, but all the hard work from mining and carrying around blocks of stone and all these things also doubled as their training, so all of them could remain in shape. Many would have broken down, especially as Kaido offered these 4 people positions as headliners. Who knows, maybe if they actually joined his crew, they would now be members of the Tobiroppo or actually members of the All-Stars. But Omasa, Tsunagoro, Cho and Yatape all denied this offer. This golden opportunity to save their lives was right before them, and as they only saw each other as members of their family, Omasa, Tsunagoro, Cho and Yatape had to make a decision. Thinking about Odin's sacrifice and Hyogoro's teachings, they insulted Kaido before actually rejecting his offer. If they ever changed their minds, Kaido would welcome them with open arms. So they were thrown in the prison in Udon, to see if sometime in the future their minds would maybe break down and they would join Kaido's side. Back in the present age, they are now confronting King the Wildfire. In a twist of fate, they are fighting against the same opponent their mentor did 20 years ago. Even if they learned that Hyogoro is not actually dead at this moment, but their conviction, their dream stands. They want to free Wano, and for that they need to win against King. And that is maybe something we will see in the next episode, when the battle between Omasa, Yatape, Cho and Tsunagoro against King the Wildfire will continue. But until then, that's all from me for today, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Shadow Piece. If you did, why don't you consider clicking on that like and subscribe button. I am going to see you all again on the next video on Thursday. Until then, all that's left to say is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. that's all from me. We'll see each other again in the next video. Bye!